The day Emma's mom went to prison was the day her world cracked open. Emma was only 10 years old, a quiet girl with curly brown hair and wide eyes that seemed to take in everything. She didn't understand why her mom had to leave. She only knew that something in their lives had gone very, very wrong. It had been a rainy Monday when they'd come, the police, to take her mom away. Emma had watched from the window, clutching a stuffed bear her mom had given her last Christmas. Her mom had tried to tell her it wasn't goodbye forever, but those words didn't make the ache any smaller. For a while, Emma was angry. Angry at the world, at her mom, at herself for not being strong enough to keep her family whole. She went to live with her aunt, whose house smelled like lavender and always hummed with the soft patter of a TV in the background. Aunt Caroline tried her best to help Emma through the pain. Late-night talks, shared cups of hot cocoa, but nothing could fill the void of losing her mother. Meanwhile, Emma's mom, Susan, began her own journey behind bars. At first, prison felt like the end of the world. She was surrounded by metal bars, concrete walls, and regrets so heavy they seemed to suffocate her. Susan couldn't stop replaying her mistakes, the decisions that led her here, the pain she'd caused her daughter. Guilt became her only companion, wrapping around her heart like chains. But then, something changed. Susan met someone unexpected. It wasn't another inmate or a guard. It was a volunteer at the prison chapel, a kind older woman named Margaret. Margaret handed Susan a book, a Bible, and invited her to attend a service. Susan laughed bitterly at the offer. She wasn't the kind of person who believed in miracles. But Margaret didn't push her. She simply said, "When you're ready, he'll be waiting for you." Days turned into weeks, and a curiosity Susan couldn't explain kept pulling her toward that chapel. It wasn't an instant transformation, but Susan felt something stir in her, like a quiet spark that refused to be ignored. Slowly, Susan began to change. She started reading the Bible during long stretches of quiet in her cell. She prayed for the first time in years. She didn't just find comfort in her faith, she found strength. Through her relationship with God, Susan began to face her past with honesty. She took ownership of her mistakes, but instead of letting guilt define her, she started to see a path to redemption. When Emma visited her mom a year later, she noticed something different.
Emma, I know I haven't been the mom you deserve. I hurt you, and I'm so sorry. But I'm trying. I want to be better. For you, for us.
It wasn't easy for Emma to accept. The scars from their separation had carved deep into her heart. But as months turned into years, as Susan kept showing up, writing letters, making promises she kept, Emma started to believe her mom was truly different. The day Susan walked out of those prison gates was the day Emma felt her heart crack open again. Not from pain this time, but from hope. Their road ahead wasn't perfect, but they faced it together. Susan found strength in her faith, guiding her to be the mother Emma had always needed. And Emma learned about forgiveness, not just for her mom, but for herself and the burden she'd carried all these years. It wasn't the story of an ideal family, but it was theirs. A story of grace, second chances, and love that never stopped searching for the light. And through it all, they found their way back to each other.